Okay, so this is what the exception handling. In the last class, we have seen like how try catch block is used to handle the exception. So okay, so in what way you are handling the exception? So using try catch block and also using throw clause and throws clause, and also we can define our own exception. Okay, customizing the exceptions. So these are the ways of handling the exceptions. Okay, so what are the things? An exception is an unwanted situation or an error that is to be handled to get the normal execution of the program. So that we are handling through try catch pair. Okay, this is what last class we have seen. Try catch pair. Okay, so next what we have, using throw class. Okay, using throw class, that is how using throw keyword we can handle the exception. Another we have throws. Okay, throws is also a keyword which is used to handle the exception. Okay, and we can customize the handling of exception. That is what we can define our own exception. Okay, this is what we have seen when we are discussing the Java program in the lab. Okay, so these are the ways. In this only we have so many things. Okay, and we have last class we have seen the hierarchy of exceptions, and what is unchecked exception and what is checked exceptions. Okay, and in a try only different variants of try we can use. Okay, that is nested try and also multiple catch blocks we can use. Okay, so try is a block where we are going to put the code where we may expect that some error may occur. Okay, something that the program cannot handle, that situation or that event may occur. So that part of code we are putting in the try block. Okay, if that problem or that event or that error occurs, then the control will be transferred to the catch block, and in that whatever we have written the statements that will be executed, or what is happened in the try block, that explanation will be present, or explanation details or that details will be produced in the catch block. Okay, so that is what the try catch pair we are using to handle the the situations which will cause the abnormal termination of the program. Okay, so that is what the need of try catch block. This is what we have seen in the last class. And we have seen like in an hierarchy, we have the exception class which is handling any type of exceptions. Okay, whereas the subclasses like what we have we have seen arithmetic exception, that is a divide by zero exception. Then we have array index out of bound exception. Okay, so that will arise when we are trying to access some array value which is out of index. That is, if the array size is 10 and I try to retrieve an element, a 15th element of the array, then this error will occur. And we have IO exception. That is, what is that? Whatever the input I have to give in that format, if I have not given the input, then the IO error occurs. Okay, so these are what this is what we'll call unchecked exceptions, whereas checked exceptions are what? File not found, and connectivity, yes, database connectivity is not happened, and also network issues. Okay, when I'm using the classes which is making the connections, if that is not able to execute, then that type of errors will come. That is what checked exception. Compile time exceptions are called as checked exceptions, and runtime exceptions are called as unchecked exceptions. So we have both built-in exceptions to handle these situations, so that we can handle through one of the basic thing, that is try catch block. Try is a block where we are going to include the statements which may cause an event which is turning the program into abnormal termination. Okay, or you can say an exception event may occur. And catch is a block where we are going to get the description of what is happened in the try block and what is to be taken place. Okay, and the other two options are throw and throws. Okay, a try can be used with multiple catch blocks, and a try can be used in a nested way. Okay, so these are the different variants of the try block. Okay, so that we will see, and we'll see what is throw and how to use throw keyword for handling the exception, and what is the use of throws and how to use this keyword for handling the exception. Okay, so then we will compare these two. Okay, this is what I'm going to discuss. Okay, so here why we have to go for a multiple try catch block. So when more than one exception can be raised by a single piece of code. Okay, I have a function where I may have some 10 lines of code, or in a program I have some 10 lines of code. So that may cause a null pointer exception, or that may cause class not found exception, a file not found exception, or arithmetic exception, or array index out of bound exception, any built-in exception it may cause. So in that line of code, if any, yeah, I don't know what can be happened, then you can go for multiple try catch blocks, or multiple catch blocks for a given try block. Okay, and two more catches are required to handle the situations. That means what? Okay, so this will disturb me. Okay, so one try block can be followed by many catch blocks. Okay, that is the one thing. And catch statements are inspected in order, and the first one whose type matches that of the exception is executed. I think last class we have seen that program. So that means in a catch block, first catch is arithmetic exception, second catch is array index bound exception, third catch is null pointer exception. So then which one is occurred, that will be inspected from the top. That is what, whichever is match, that will be executed. Okay, this will happen implicitly, and one catch statement is executed. After that, other catch statements are bypassed. So for a given try block, if I have written 4 or 5 catch blocks, then if the first one matches the exception, then the remaining 4 blocks will not be executed. Okay, or it made such one by one catch block, and whichever is a match, that will be executed. If it found none of the catch blocks are a match, then an error will be, and by default it will go for an abnormal termination. If you have written a general catch exception at the end, then that will be executed. Okay, if none of the first one will match it. Okay, this is what the description gives. Execution continues after each try catch block. In the multiple catch statements, exception subclass comes before the superclass. That means you have a try block, and first only you have written exception, that is general superclass. After that you have written arithmetic. After that you have written array index out of bound. So anyone arithmetic or array index bound of exception occurs, then that catch block will not be executed. Always the exception class will be executed. So that is what, in a nested, when you are using multiple catch blocks, then it is better to put the general class exception at the end and subclasses at the top. Okay, if none of the subclasses are matched, then the superclass exception will be executed. Okay, so this is what, subclass is never reached if it comes after the subclass. So this is what the one. And multiple test blocks are like this. So class test and one try, and it is catch arithmetic exception, catch array index out of bound exception, and catch exception e. So here exception is the general class. It is general class of exceptions. It is going to handle all built-in type of exceptions, all type of exceptions. So in a try block, if arithmetic exception occurs, then in the first catch only it will match, and it will skip the remaining one. If array index out of bound exception occurs in the within the try block, then first it will check this one, and then if it is not a match, it will come here, and this will be executed. Any other exception occurs within this try code other than arithmetic and array index, then it will come to this and it will execute. So if instead of in this order, if I have written catch exception E at the top, then whatever if arithmetic exception occurs, then it will not reach the arithmetic exception block. Always the first catch block is holding or catching that exception. This is what you should remember. The subclass exceptions are to be written on the before the superclass exceptions. Otherwise, that exception will not be caught. Okay, so this is about using multiple catch blocks with a try code. Okay, try block with a single try block. Okay, So this is one of the variant of using try catch block to handle the exception. So the another one is what? Nested try block. Okay, so what is that nested try block is? So you know nesting means what? One including one on the other. So this is what the syntax, that is try statement is inside the block of another try. So I have the external one and here a try block, and it is followed by many catch blocks, right? So you see here in this slide, in a first try we have a block of code, it may cause some error. If that error occurs, then it will come to this catch block. Okay, so if it is not a match, it will come out of the outer try block, and it is going to check which catch block will be matching this. If none of the catch block will handle an error occurred in the first nested try, so then it is causing an error. Or any one which is catching an error occurred here, that catch block will be executed. Okay, so here also I can write multiple catch blocks, or it can be followed by many catch blocks. After that, it can be followed by many catch blocks. Okay, so when an error occurs, it will come out and it will first check the cache within this flower bracket. Then it will come out and it will check the cache, yeah, which is in the outer catch blocks. Okay, so that is how nested try will occur. You can go for any level of nesting of the try blocks. Okay, so in that nesting, first it will check whether immediate catch block is there, any catch statements are there. If it is not there, it will check its external try block, and its catch blocks it is going to check. Whichever is suitable, whichever catch is matching that situation, that catch block code will be executed. Okay, so this is another variant, like how a try catch block with a nested thing can be used to handle the exception. Okay, so next what we have, uh, throw. How we are using throw class to use the exception handling. So whatever in the try catch block we are using is a implicit way of handling the exception. Okay, whereas throw is called as an explicit way of handling the exception. So it explicitly specify how to handle the error occurs in the exception, occur in a block of code. Okay, now what is the other thing which are associated with this throw is what? Okay, you can say throw is used to handle, used to specify the exception explicitly. So that means in a method, in a function, this may happen, that explicitly you have to specify. And throw is used for throwing custom exception. Why it is called as custom exception is what? If I say the description, if I want to print the description of arithmetic exception, it will say division by 0, right? But for arithmetic exception only, I can give, instead of division by 0, my own message. That is what? Custom exception. Okay, through the example we will see that. Okay, and it is used to create a custom error. Custom error means what? In a program, whatever the code I have written, I may expect that this program may cause this error, so this is customizing. So my way of handling the error in my program, this may error may occur, and that I am going to handle through any of the message, like I am going to get my own message. Okay, so that is what. And syntax is what? Throwable instance. Throwable instance in the sense what? It is a built-in checked or unchecked exception instance, not like int, char, string, or whatever it is. That is what they have given here, it as a throwable instance. So throw is followed by both checked and unchecked exceptions, and it is created using a new operator. Okay, so anyhow, this is the syntax of this, and you can just see that throw is a way of handling the exception explicitly, and you can give your customizing way of handling the error using the throw keyword. Okay, so that is what these three points you can write for throw keyword. Okay, so we have this example. So what is this example will tell is, so like your internal marks, whenever we want to upload here, if I enter less than 0, it should not accept. And if I enter more than 40, it should not accept. This is what we'll say field validations, right? So here this is what somehow it is used to check that whether you have entered a valid marks entry or not. Okay, so that is using throw keyword we have created. So what is this? It is a class in that a method is there. What it will do? Check marks. So whatever the parameters sent to it, it will check that if the value is in between 0 and 40, it is a valid entry. Otherwise, yeah, it will throw an exception. Okay, so it will create an instance of this exception. Okay, so this is one of the difference here. Throw will create an instance of the exception, whereas throws will use the class of that exception. Okay, anyhow, you see, what it is, throw new arithmetic exception, and I have sent my own details here, like invalid IA marks entry. Okay, it is creating an instance of arithmetic exception, and the message passed into that object is invalid entry. Okay, so an arithmetic exception object is created here. Okay, and only one instance of that exception will be created. And using throw clause, we can have you can handle at a time only one exception. Okay, so using try, we are able to catch multiple type of exceptions, right, using different catch blocks. Whereas using three key throw keyword, I can handle only one type of exception at a time. Okay, and we are creating an instance of that exception. Okay, an object of that, and we are customizing it by passing our own message. Okay, so this is what the thing. In this one, I send this as a parameter, and whatever this object is created, in that its message is initialized to the whatever string I have passed. Okay, this is what the difference in using this keyword or customizing it means. Okay, so this is what the class I have written, and in a main program, public static void main. Okay, this means public static void main. I have sent here check marks 35 means what? The first if the statements inside the if blocks will be executed. System out println SOP means. So valid marks entry will be there. And whenever I'll send check marks -1, then that criteria will not be followed, and it will come to the else block, and it will create an instance of this exception, and the message I are going to get is this invalid entry. Okay. So this is how a throw class is used. It is used inside the body of a method, and it can be used to handle only one type of exception, and it is an explicit way of handling the exception, and you can customize the exception, customizing the error of your code. This is what you have to remember about the throw class. Okay, whereas in a try catch block, what we have multiple exceptions we can handle using multiple catch blocks. Okay, that means you can handle many type of exceptions which will occur in a piece of code. Okay, and you are using the class of that exception, not the objects. Okay, that is what, and that is implicit way of handling the exception. That is, whatever the catch block you have written, it is going to check which exception has occurred, like a division by zero or a index out of bound. So like you have tell this may happen, and it is going to check there. But here I am saying here this will happen, and you have to handle like this. That is why it is an explicit way, whereas it will check there by itself. Okay, I have written this, and it is one by one catch block it is going to verify. That is why it is implicit way of verifying the exceptions. Okay, so this is an example of throw class. Okay, how you are using throw class to handle the exception, and what is the difference between try catch and the throw. Okay, next we have the throws. Okay, so throws class is what? It is it lists the type of exceptions a method can throw. Okay, and throws can list more than one exception type. Okay, here also we are able to handle more than one type of exception, and the difference is what? Okay, the syntax is what? Return type, method name, and throws. Okay, method name here whatever the three dots I have specified here, it is the parameter list, and it is throws clause. Exception 1, exception 2, exception 3, and exception list. You can put any number of exceptions here. Okay, and then it is followed in the method body. Okay, so throws class will throw the exception in the declaration, okay, or the signature of the function, whereas uh, throw will throw the exception in the body of the method. Okay, so that is one of the difference between throw and throws. So throw will throw the exception in the body of the method, and throw the exception handled through the throw clause is explicit, and at a time throw can handle only one type of exception, whereas throws is what? Throws will be the keyword we have to specify in the signature of the method or the declaration of the method, and using throws class we can handle many number of exceptions. It will also one by one it will catch. Okay, and if exception 1 is not met, it will go to exception 2, no, exception 3, no, so like the list it is going to check to the block of code which are in the body of the method. Okay, so example I will show the program, and these are the difference between the throw and throws. Okay, throws usage I will show you there through the example. So throw is a keyword which is used to throw an exception explicitly in the program, inside a function or inside a block of code. Okay, so this is what throw. Whereas throws is a keyword used in the method signature in the sense in the definition. Okay, used to declare an exception which might get thrown by the function while executing the code. And only throw single exception can throw multiple exceptions. Throw keyword is used within the method. Throws keyword is used in the signature. Okay. So these are the things using try catch, and the different variants is what? One try block, multiple catch blocks, and nested try you can use. And the other two ways of handling exception is using through as well as the using throw and as well as the throws. Based on our need, which one to use depends on us. These are the different variants of handling the exception. Other than that, what we can do, we can define our own exception. Okay. Yeah, this is what the all the 3 points are given in this example. Like what? Um, a throw is used inside a method, and a throw can at a time can create only one exception. And yeah, yes, even for the unchecked exception, it can give you the customized method. So it is related with an instance of this. That is an object of this, whereas it can handle only one exception and it is explicit. Whereas throws, you can have SQL exception, IO exception, and arithmetic exception, whatever you want, you can handle multiple exceptions, and it will come in the definition of the function or the declaration of the function or in the signature of the function, where this will come in the body of the function. Okay, and it is specifying the class of that exception, whereas it is specifying an object of that exception or an instance of that exception. Okay, so these are the differences whatever I have mentioned. You can get more differences, and I thought this will be enough. Okay, so now we will see the programs for whatever we have discussed. Okay, so this is just what is this? Why this is not enabling? Okay, so this is what try catch block, and this is general exception we have seen, right? And here this is what multiple catch blocks we have. You see what is this general thing is, like what? Instead of this, if I put it is a super class, right? So instead of this, if I put this at the top, so then what will happen? D is 0, right? Here array index out of bound exception will not be occurred. Division by 0. Or you can say I try to print A33. So line number 13 is an exception, and line number 16 is also an exception. So first if 13 occurs, array index out of bound is to be caught. See, it is showing an error itself. This is what Eclipse is, right? So it will showing an error like general exception is to be written at the top. Unreachable, it is showing the error like unreachable catch block for array index bounds of exception. This is what here array index bound of exception and arithmetic are the subclasses of exception. So whatever will happen if you have written this at the front, only this will be caught. It is through at compile time only it is showing an error. Okay, so see this is what you should understand, like when you are putting the multiple catch blocks, then subclass exceptions are to be written first, then finally you have to write the general class exception. Okay, since it is showing an error, even though I will compile, it will say the same thing, because we are getting the error here, right? It is not allowing it all. Okay, why it is what it is saying unreachable catch block, since we have written like general catch at the top of this one, it is showing that unreachable. Okay, at compile time only it is handling this. This is what Eclipse is friendly. Okay, yeah, if I have written, that's what. Okay, so it is coming only that concept I have to tell in a multiple catch blocks, how exceptions are handled, and this exception is the superclass of all this type. Along this we have the another will be null pointer exception, IO exception, and class not found exception, arguments command, if there is a command line arguments, then also we have the other exception. Okay, this is what the multiple catch blocks. Now use of throw keyword. Okay, the same example whatever I have done, I have taken here. So if I have not sent this -1, program will run properly. Okay, so it will say valid IA marks entry, valid IA marks entry. This is normal termination, and I have sent here marks -1. So it will come, and this condition is satisfied here. So what will happen? Invalid IA marks entry. What I said, if m is less than 0, I have to put r, right? So condition I have not written properly. R m is greater than 40. If any one of this condition is true, then it has to create an instance of this and it has to send a message here, right? So since I have sent here, first this one will be executed, and for this it will go to the if block, and I'm going to get this message. Okay, so it is showing you here exception in threadment valid IA marks entry. It is for this statement valid, then we are getting invalid IA marks entry. Okay, so arithmetic exception has raised, and whatever the statement I have written in that, like invalid IA entry, it has explained. And again, this is showing that in line number, what is that? 8. Okay, so here the exception has occurred, and slot row example 16. So because of this line number 16 and the line number 8, it is giving you this message. Okay, so that is how this throw class is used. Okay, next throws. Okay, so throws, what we have, arithmetic exception, array index out of bound exception, and general class exception I have written. Okay, and here inside this throws also I have used one more throw here. Okay, so first you take yeah, if I have written 0, so first what I'm going to get, arithmetic exception. So I'm not going to get this blocks. So this line is executed. After that, we have an exception. That is why it will be caught, and it is showing you that z division by 0. Okay. So now it is 8, 9, and I try to print a of 15 is equal to 100. Then obviously, so before and it has after arithmetic. That means this is proper. This statement is proper. Then we are getting array index both of exception. So it has been caught. So if you have not written these two, only exception if you have written, and both the things will be caught. Okay, so that is what the throws You can mention any of this thing. And here I have written throw new exception command line argument. That means what? While running, okay, so if this is also proper, then throw will be executed, right? Both are proper now. You see, array index out of bound has come. Since I have written here, see, this is not general exception. This is where this example I have taken is that you want to customize the error. Okay. Here, why this example is arithmetic exception, array index out of bound, and then general exception I have caught. Okay. But in my program, if I send the line number 12 will indicate that while you are executing the program, you are sending command line arguments. Okay. So command line arguments are one, it is like this. Okay. I think you know command line arguments. In a my, if you are written main in C, you will write argc and argv, right? Argument, total number of arguments, and argument this v. Okay, if you declare like this, whenever you are compiling or running this program, you will say cc file name and argument 1 and argument 2, like this. Along with the program, you are sending this. So it is saying argument v is holding this as a string and separated by comma, it is argument c value is 2. That means through command line, while you are running the program, you are sending the two arguments. This argument c and argument v values you can use in your program. This is an array where you are storing this as a string, and it will count the values which are separated by comma as the arguments. So it will count and it will tell how many values you have sent. So these are called as command line arguments. In Java also, command line argument means I will, while I am compiling Java and a file name, okay, test I will give, and along with that I will give some value 3 and then followed by 5, something like this. I can, while running that, I can send values, and these 3 and 5 are called as command line arguments. Okay. So this example, here I'm telling you, like, this is will signify that how you can use throw class to customize the errors, okay, or customize the exceptions. Here, this exception is not generated, but I have handled this. Since I am running the program, not sending any argument. How you are getting command line argument? This is the way. B dot args length. It will tell you that how many arguments you are passed while running the program. Okay. So I have just given that if B is equal to the 0, that it is say that command line argument exception. Okay. Or you can say you have not signed. You have not sent command line arguments. This is the message I am going to get. You see, here whenever this error occurs, this exception is not executed. But I have created an instance of this exception and I have sent my own thing. This is what this exceptions you can use an instance of that and you can customize the error. Okay, this is what the use of through class. So since I have not sent any command line argument, what message I am going to get? This is what command line argument exception. You have not sent command line arguments. Okay. So this is what because of this throw we are going to get this message. How to avoid this also? You can see how to send the command line argument. Go for run configuration and here the arguments, and you can give here 1 comma 2. So since I have sent two arguments here, the length will apply. Okay. The length will not be 0, so I'm just getting, this is not executed. Okay. So b is equal to 0 means you are not send any arguments. If you send arguments, b value will be more. Okay. So then that thing will be done. How you are going to check that? Like you can print that. Mm. This example will only give you a thing like how throw is used to handle custom errors. Okay, only to show you that I have given this example, and throws and throw and also try block together you can use in a program with all their variants. And here the thing is, it is an instance of this is not created, but an instance of this is created in a using a throw. Okay, so if I print b, since just I have run, you will get an exception and value of b will be 0. Okay, 1 need, yeah. Okay, one system out println b is 1 needed. Okay, why? I have sent the value there. Okay, so now run ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬನ್ನಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತೆಗೆದ್ರೆ ಆಯ್ತು ಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಲೈನಲ್ಲಿ. ಸಿನ್ಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇಸ್ ದ ಇಟ್ ಹಸ್ ಸೀನ್. ನಾವು ಅಪ್ಲೈ ರನ್. ಈಗ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಎನ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ and the value of b is 0. b value is 0 and we have this exception arised because of the throw clause. Okay, so we have running out of time. Anyhow, I think today we have discussed about, okay, so we have discussed about the different like a try different variants of try catch block, and also the use of throw and throws classes to handle the exception, and also what is the difference of the throw and throws, and also the try catch block. Okay, in what situation we have to use, and all these exception handling can be used together in a single program. Okay, so that is also possible. Okay, tomorrow we'll see the use of finally clause in exception handling, and also how to create our own exception, and also we can discuss about the packages. Okay, if we finish that, then that third module will be finished, and I will give you the assignment for that. So that is what two assignments will be there. Assignment marks will be considered. I'll give you the time, and maybe after the completion of this week classes, I will upload the assignment. Okay, and inform me about the lab. Okay, whether I need to explain the 5 programs or not. Okay, just inform me. So I think Anusha will respond, so that is why I am giving that responsibility to Anusha. So you just inform me whether you require a lab or not. Okay, today afternoon or suitably tomorrow afternoon we'll take, because today afternoon I have to go for the second dose of the vaccination. So if the time is not possible, I will take tomorrow, or if it is not possible today, I'll take today only. Okay, just inform me, I'll confirm the time. Okay, so thank you students.
Okay, ma'am.
Tomorrow we will discuss the remaining things. Thanks.